The bloodline is currently in a state of turmoil, and no one knows this more than Paul Heyman. The Wiseman has been lost ever since Roman Reigns' departure after WrestleMania 40. He has had to step aside as Solo Sikoa took over the reins and brought in new members to the group, members that seem to terrify Heyman. With all that is going on, there is a possibility that the Hall of Famer might leave the faction tonight. Last week on SmackDown, Paul Heyman had what can only be described as a breakdown. Determined to warn Kevin Owens about the dangers of taking on this new version of the bloodline, Heyman rambled about how he truly misses Roman Reigns. Unfortunately for Heyman, and perhaps in a momentary lapse of judgment, he said all this and more with the mic in his hand. Hearing Paul Heyman question his leadership, and on top of that refer to his new recruits, Tama Tonga and Tongaloa, as thugs, cannot have sat well with Solo Sikoa. With that in mind, it wouldn't be surprising to see the Wiseman forced out of the bloodline by its new leader. Perhaps he may be triggered once more, as Sikoa could anoint Tongaloa with a position of prominence tonight. This could lead to yet another outpour of emotion, which ends up being the last straw for Sikoa. It certainly would be quite the twist to see Heyman leave the bloodline. It would mark the end of an era and the beginning of a new one for the faction. But, at the end of the day, this is all just mere speculation, and there is no telling what's in store for either the 58-year-old or the bloodline tonight on the Blue brand. Paul Heyman hasn't spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania 40. One of the reasons why the bloodline, as we know it seems to be imploding, is because of a lack of communication. The Wiseman, Paul Heyman, is expected to be the mouthpiece and representative of Roman Reigns. However, things have been different since the tribal chief lost at WrestleMania 40. Despite being extremely close with Reigns, Heyman has revealed that he hasn't spoken to the former undisputed WWE Universal Champion since the show of shows earlier this year. It has been complete radio silence on Reigns' end, or at least that is the case for Heyman. After all, Solo Sikoa claims he has been talking to Roman on a regular basis. Now, at this point, there is no telling if Sikoa is telling the truth. It could all just be a ruse on his end so that he can take full control of the faction. Either way, this does not spell good news for Heyman. In the electrifying world of WWE SmackDown, where alliances are forged and broken with the flick of a wrist, betrayal is always lurking in the shadows. Tonight, the stage is set for a colossal swerve as Paul Heyman, the cunning mastermind behind the bloodline, executes his most audacious plan yet. As the cameras roll and the crowd roars, the intricate web of deceit woven by Heyman unfolds in a spectacle of shock and disbelief. The scene opens with the bloodline, Roman Reigns, the formidable Universal Champion, and his loyal cousins, Jimmy and Jey-Uso, standing tall in the center of the ring, basking in the adulation of their fans. Heyman, with his trademark smirk, strides purposefully to the ring, his presence sending ripples of anticipation through the arena. Addressing the crowd with his characteristic eloquence, Heyman paints a vivid picture of unity and strength within the bloodline, emphasizing their dominance over SmackDown and the entire WWE landscape. But beneath his smooth facade lies a mind teeming with schemes and machinations, a fact that will soon become all too apparent. As the tension mounts, Heyman drops the bombshell that will shatter the foundation of the bloodline, a revelation that he has been secretly negotiating with a rival faction, plotting to betray Reigns and his cousins in exchange for untold riches and power. Gasps of disbelief ripple through the crowd as Heyman's words hang in the air like a thunderclap. Roman Reigns, the stoic leader of the bloodline, stands frozen in disbelief, his trust in Heyman shattered in an instant. Jimmy and Jey-Uso, torn between loyalty to their family and the allure of Heyman's promises, exchange uncertain glances as the gravity of the situation sinks in. In a moment of raw emotion, Reigns confronts Heyman, his voice laced with anger and betrayal. The tension between them crackles like lightning as Heyman, ever the master manipulator, attempts to smooth over the rift with honeyed words and false promises. But the damage has been done, and the once unbreakable bond of the bloodline hangs by a thread. Sensing an opportunity, their rival faction, led by a shadowy figure whose identity remains shrouded in mystery, descends upon the ring like a pack of hungry wolves, eager to capitalize on the chaos unleashed by Heyman's betrayal. The arena erupts into chaos as the two factions clash in a frenzy of fists and fury, the fate of SmackDown hanging in the balance. Amidst the chaos, Heyman watches with a twisted grin, reveling in the chaos he has unleashed. But his victory is short-lived as Reigns, fueled by righteous fury, rallies his cousins and mounts a ferocious counterattack. In a display of strength and unity, the Bloodline fights back with a determination born of betrayal, driving their rivals from the ring and reclaiming their rightful place at the top of the WWE hierarchy. But the wounds inflicted by Heyman's betrayal run deep, casting a dark shadow over the Bloodline's future. As Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey Uso stand united in the wreckage of their shattered alliance, they know that the road ahead will be fraught with challenges and obstacles unlike any they have faced before. And yet, amidst the turmoil and uncertainty, there remains a glimmer of hope, a resilience born of the unbreakable bond that binds them together as family. For in the world of WWE SmackDown, where betrayal is a constant threat and alliances are forged and broken in the blink of an eye, the strength of the Bloodline lies not in their power or prestige, but in the unwavering loyalty and love that binds them together as one.